Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, Dragon Ball edition. Today we have our Dragon Ball expert, Mitchell Osso, with us today. Mitch, how you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good overall. I guess we'll have to really dive into how I'm feeling when we go over this draft summary for the preview of episode 65 or manga chapter 65. I meant to say.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have a episode for you guys today. As Mitchell said, we are going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 65. For those of you who don't know, the previews for the chapter came out yesterday, and they sent the Dragon Ball community and the internet a flame. Mitch, I'm going to hand it over to you and let you explain why this preview set the world ablaze.
I'm just going to cut straight to the point of why this is such a hot topic right now, and that is Goku gives Moro a senzu bean to heal him to full strength again, even though he's still in MUI. And that itself is it's got me feeling, I'm speechless, is basically where I'm trying to get at because I don't personally like it, but we'll dive into it a little bit more. So, on DBZ Hype over on Twitter, there are some drafts that have been released regarding the chapter preview that is coming out, and it starts off in the illustrations that Krillin makes his way to the battlefield finally. In the other chapters, he had been progressively moving his way towards the battlefield. We never really knew what was going on with Krillin. We just saw him in some shots. I thought it was really just for world building, but it now is shown that there was an actual purpose of that, and he was going to bring the senzu beans. We originally thought that maybe he was going to heal everybody when Moro knocked him down, but then Dende healed him when Miras protected everyone during that time frame. But now Krillin arrives, Goku teleports over to Krillin and takes the senzu beans directly from him, goes back to Moro, and in the summary, Goku basically is stating to Moro, hey, you need to promise that you will never kill again and that you will agree to go back to the Galactic Patrol prison with Jocko and never escape again. Moro agrees, saying that he'll never do such things ever again. Goku gives him the senzu bean, and he explains what the senzu bean does. And right when Moro eats it, a couple things happen that kind of have us now questioning some stuff, let alone he replenishes all of his health and stamina. In the previous chapter, we saw that after Goku just smacked the shit out of Moro, that his arm was destroyed, and we were pondering if he would be able to regenerate that arm since the crystals from 7-3 had been destroyed or sealed by Miras. Could he do that? Well, after eating the senzu bean, he regenerates his arm, which throws up some questions for us to dive into. And then Goku is telling Moro again that you're going to jail. Jocko is shocked by Goku's his decision to give Moro a chance here, and then Goku tells him you need to keep your promise. And then the very end of this chapter, Moro will say to Goku, "Of course, thank you, Son Goku, but I have one thing left to do. That is to kill you." And then Moro rushes at Goku, who is still in MUI and appears completely calm. And that's how the summary ends, assuming that's how the chapter is going to end. So that is the summary. And before I dive into what I think, maybe I want to hear a more rational person's perspective on this before I dive into my rationale on it. Martin, what was your thoughts? when you saw all of that?
When I first saw the preview of him tossing the sensu bean, I had to really make sure it was Dragon Ball Hype's Twitter. I had to make sure it wasn't a parody. I had to make sure it was legit his, because if it was legit coming from his, it's real. I know the first thing I did, I took off my glasses and just stood there and in utter disbelief, like, you have to be freaking kidding me. It's one of the, oh man, this is tough because it makes no effing sense why Goku would give this man a sensu bean. He literally shed a tear for Mirrors because Mirrors gave up his existence to give Goku a fighting chance. He gave up everything to tell Goku to protect the universe that he liked and all that stuff. And then you're just going to give this man a sensu bean back to full strength. And you're thinking that his powers, because now, I mean, he still has the 7-3 powers, all that stuff. You think he's just going to sit in jail for the next eternity and he's never going to break out? I was, and it's only the previews, and these previews sometimes have been altered or changed by the time we get to the manga. I was extreme. I'm not gonna lie, I was very pissed off. I don't know if it's, I don't know if I want to be mad at the bad writing. I don't know if they want to keep this Goku trying to reform villain nonsense and then him giving the sensu bean, and people try to compare it to when he gave the sensu bean to Cell against Gohan, but that was different in a way that he knew in his heart that Gohan, if he awoken his hidden power, could beat Cell. Maybe giving the sensu bean was wrong because Gohan wasn't like the fighter like he was, but he knew his son could do it. This, if something happens and he attacks Goku and Goku's still in MUI, but if Goku runs out of MUI, what the hell happens? And I know you said last time we talked that you thought it was going to go on, but not like you didn't even expect this. So
No.
I have more I want to say about, because I'm actually very mad about what I've seen. But I want you to go ahead and speak your mind on it.
It's ridiculous. Like what we said last episode when we try to make our predictions as to is this fight wrapping up with MUI going to defeat Moro, and it very well could, because there's really two outcomes right now. And that is when chapter 66 comes in November, it's either Goku is going to blast Moro to hell and kill him, and it's going to be right off the bat too, and then this arc is over, maybe except, maybe another chapter to kind of wrap up loose ends. Maybe Maris comes back somehow, or we learn something else, whatever. And then that would be the end of the arc. I personally did not believe that would be the case because I thought MUI would fail. Like I said, I thought they would build that towards the next villain. That MUI is really powerful, but it can't be relied upon to win you the battle, because in the previous two times then it would have failed, even though it set them up for success. So that's option one, is that November's chapter is the end of this entire arc. Again, I don't want that. Or this is just going to continue on for, I'm going to take the wild guess and say 5 more chapters. And that is Goku is probably going to fight Moro then. And even and MUI is going to stomp him again and mess up Moro, or Moro's going to now have his magic completely replenished, and he'll turn the tide on Goku because Goku wasn't expecting some whatever new magic that Moro will bring to the table, and then maybe we'll get lucky and Beerus enters the fray, or Vegeta shows us another technique that he learned, or figures out how to defeat Moro, whatever it might be. Those are the two outcomes or predictions that I think are the only possible things. Either one more chapter in November where he kills Moro, or this goes for another 5 chapters, and we'll be talking about the defeat of Moro in February. Just is mind blowing to me. I don't understand why this would be the direction that they would want to go. What does Goku giving Moro a senzu bean accomplish in the storyline? Like, are we just trying to reiterate like who Goku is? We know who Goku is. We don't need to know that he tries to spare villains. We've seen it from, when he gave energy to Frieza, when he gave the senzu bean to Boo or Cell, and it's, in my mind, it's almost lazy writing because there's no point. There's no point. Either Goku, it would actually be more of a development of Goku's character if he just blasts Moro to hell in 66 and ends the chapter. Because then we can actually sit here and be like, huh, wow, Goku actually did it. Like, he just got rid of the bad guy without even second or third guessing it, because he's always second guessing it, just giving him another chance. So I don't get it. I don't.
A couple of things off the things you just said, because you brought up the Frieza and Cell thing. Even when he gave his energy to Frieza, when Frieza shot him back, Goku thought he killed Frieza. Because with the iconic line, you full on blasted him, and he thought he killed Frieza. So I don't know if that might be the same thing that happens. And then with the Cell thing, I mean, he felt like with Cell tired out, that wouldn't be enough to bring out the true potential in Gohan. So gave him that senzu. I guess he was right in that respect. But even when Goku was screaming at Gohan to finish Cell off now, you can do it. And Gohan was like, I want him to suffer more. And then Goku paid the price by dying in that. And I think, I don't want to, the writing's terrible, but this is a prime example of why me personally, I liked GT Goku, not just overall Goku. I didn't like him being a kid and all, but GT Goku over Super Goku, and it's not even close because GT Goku has been through the same Z ringer. He knows which ones he thinks he could potentially reform, like Nova Senron, but he knows which ones he has to just take out. Like there is no reform with Baby, took him out. 17 took him out. All the Shadow Dragons except Nova took him out. There was no, he knew they were evil. There was no reform. They gotta go. There's no reform in Moro, and he's just like, oh, I want you to take a sensu bean and go to jail for the rest of your life when no one on the Galactic Army Patrol can hold you if you break out, and then we're right back to where we started. And then next time when I break out, Moro, I'm just gonna find you, Goku, and I'm not let you get into MUI. I'm just gonna stab you and take your heart out. So
can you picture Goku actually standing there telling Moro, go back to jail after he just gave him a senzu bean to be full powered, Like, can Goku actually stand there and be like, yeah, Moro's going to go there. He's going to go sit in his cell and he's going to basically not be able to do anything. And then he's going to get out of his cell and go stand in the lunch line, get his slop from the prison kitchen, and then go right back. He might have a little recess. Then he'll go back. He might talk to a therapist, and then he'll go to sleep and he'll start it over all the time. Like, is that really what Goku is thinking in his mind? Because that if that was the case, Goku's an idiot, straight up idiot. Like IQ 4, idiot, the dumbest rock out there. But on the flip side, it's like, is Goku doing this just for his own moral conscience? Like, hey, I if they don't take it, that's not on my conscience anymore. I can go to sleep knowing that I just killed someone and I gave them a chance to be good. Like, but Goku's never shown that kind of like rationale, you know? He's always wanted to give people chances, but it's never because I can go to bed at night. So,
Not in GT. He was murking.
no, he just stomped everyone. It was awesome. Any chance he got.
It it's just bad, man, because it's right after the Mira sacrifice. So we completely wasted the character of Miras. Like that, if this is what was going to happen, there was no point to even have Miras in this whole saga. What's his point now? His sacrifice literally just got pissed on.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The only thing is that, well, no, I don't know what you can actually do with Goku to justify any more Miras's sacrifice unless he literally unless he blasts Moro. Because I'm trying to think where could this all connect back to Miras? Miras says, "I love this universe, protect it." And if Goku literally took that word for word, Moro is part of the universe, so I guess he would want to see if he could save Moro. But that was never. That doesn't seem like that was built up or even something that we would be accustomed to. And it's weird. It's like we're just drawing ideas from a hat now, just hoping this all makes sense. Because
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people going at Toritaro because this ending, if this ends like this, they completely wasted 2 years of our lives.
I think it's bad that this is how the chapter ends. Is that Moro's just rushing him? Like I need to see the beginning of 66. I don't even care about 65 anymore. Like I have to mark my calendar now for November 20th and scratch out October 20th because I don't give a damn. It's weird. It's weird. I'm still going. I'm still going to when next Tuesday comes. I mean, I'm going to still be on Shonen waiting for the chapter to load up, probably like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. But
but it's just the fact that I really felt like this Galactic Patrol arc was a really good arc, and we didn't know how it was going to end. But if you're telling me at the end climax that Goku is really about to give this man a senzu bean, he's about to be at full strength with the 7-3 hands, and he gets that ability back. And for the people listening, that I also want to harp on, Ultra Instinct is not a exclusive Saiyan transformation. First off, it's a technique. So I doubt that Moro can just, if Moro touches him once, could he take like UI? I doubt it. But I just want people to realize like this isn't like the transformation that's after Super Saiyan Blue. Because I see that a lot on the internet saying, "Oh, Ultra Instinct's the strongest Saiyan transformation," which is not. It's not a Saiyan transformation. So
I think that's clickbait. I really think that's people clickbait because you got some big name Dragon Ball experts on YouTube and whatnot, and that's what they talk about is that let's discuss the Super Saiyan transformation Ultra Instinct or what is the most iconic or what's cool. And I think that yes, we've only seen Ultra Instinct with a Saiyan before, but y'all got to stop because it is stated by Whis that like Beerus and the gods of destruction tried to attain this stuff, and I don't see a single Saiyan as a god of destruction of all the 12 universes. Ultra Instinct could be a way for other characters to play catch up. Piccolo could learn it, and then Piccolo's right back into being the strongest, one of the strongest characters. If you really wanted to stretch it out, it never will happen. We all know it won't. The Yamcha could learn this, and then he'll be the best baseball player ever. And it's like, yeah, I'm with you on that one. People need to stop either the clickbaiting or they actually need to educate themselves, because it's kind of embarrassing that some of the leaders in the Dragon Ball community are sitting here trying to force feed that crap to their viewers.
Yeah, and we'll probably have to talk about that more in depth in a different episode. So I guess what you are right. You were right that this ain't over. So
Well, that's the thing.
this this
It's
this
like
ain't over.
there's still that chance that next chapter it's over. But that what a crappy ending. What a crappy ending. That Goku gives a sense of being and then just blasts him. Really? It's like, did we even need that to end it? Do we really? No. But I don't think it is. I don't think we're even close to this being done. I think this is going to go for more chapters, and we're going to see a Vegeta involvement somehow. MUI will disappear, and I believe Moro's going to show more magic. And it also goes back to 64 when Goku was saying it was over, and Moro was like, "Do you even know who you're talking to? I am Moro the Great." I forget the exact words he said, but he kind of hinted that this wasn't over. And Moro wouldn't say those lines if he was thinking that his enemy is going to give him the free parking of Monopoly card and just hand them all the cash. It's not, nah. So I think Moro has more up his sleeves now, but he got what he needed to get back into the game from an unexpected ally in Goku. It's I can't I can't believe those words even came out of my mouth.
Yeah, and I honestly don't even. I know Krillin's there now, but half of me doesn't even know why. I know he was coming through, but why he's there? Because Dende basically has healed everyone, so I don't know why he's coming to Goku when Dende is on hand. What if the unthinkable happens and Amuro gets pissed and he kills Krillin?
When he goes back to MUI, there's not another transformation that's coming.
But what if
MUI 2, Goku's hair gets spikier, he gets an electric aura around him, and then what is he going to blast a hole in Piccolo's chest, go MUI Super Saiyan 3, and then it'll be like some goofy episode of Dragon Ball Heroes that we're about to get. So
But I just think that if you remember in Dragon Ball Super, it was the episode where Goku was like talking about he was going to go talk to Zeno, and Beerus was telling him he's like, "Man, I might have to Hakai you right here now because your carelessness is something that could put the entire universe in danger." And here we freaking are. Finish the job, but instead you're putting everyone back in danger all over again.
I'm glad you brought that up. I wonder if in chapter 65 we're going to see the reactions of Beerus and Whis when he does this.
Oh, please, yes, we need to.
I would love it in 66 if Beerus just came down and just knocked Goku out, whether or not like Moro like beats him up or Beerus knocks him out and just decides to settle the fight, or at least get involved, because this is ridiculous. But that would be funny. That would be funny if I got a reaction of Beerus and Whis in this chapter, because in the draft summary that they got right now, they don't mention anything about anyone that isn't Krillin, Goku, or Moro. Not a single person is referenced, shown in the sketches, nothing. And I can't imagine, now that you brought that up, we don't see at least a comment from somebody in the peanut gallery.
It's just a slap in the face.
Speaking of
slap in the face.
Speaking of beers, anybody who looks at the draft summary or the photos for the chapter the drawings that are out there. I listened to a expert today on their take on it, and at the beginning of the chapter, Moro is lying with his face in the dirt with a giant rock over him that was it fell on him at the end of 64 when him and Goku were fighting, and Goku sticks out his palm in 65 and basically destroys the rock. It turns into rubble like dust and covers Moro, and then Moro stands up, and the dust or the rock pebbles, it just kind of falls off. Someone stated that Goku was using the Hakai again. I'm going to go back to, I think people are just, they're not kind of paying attention. It's kind of like MUI with saying it's a Saiyan transformation. I understand that back in one of the old manga chapters, for the listeners, I'm talking about manga chapters, when Goku was fighting Zamasu, how Goku was going to get rid of Zamasu was he mimicked the Hakai and was starting to erase Zamasu because, yeah, he was immortal. You can't just kill him, but you can Hakai him, you can destroy him. And then Zamasu saved himself by grabbing and all that fun jazz. But regardless, Goku in the manga knew how to Hakai. But the anime contradicts that a lot whenever we learn that you can only Hakai if you have energy of destruction, which Goku has never been shown in the manga or in the anime to have been given energy of destruction, because that's only given to either gods of destruction or gods of destruction in training. And Goku has blatantly said that he does not want the job of god of destruction. So personally, what I think happened there was Goku just used his energy and just disintegrated the rock. We saw Goku use a technique last chapter where he basically telekinesis, he just stopped Moro in midair with energy. I assume Goku can just use his powers just to disintegrate a rock. So I'm just going to go on the record and say it. I hope I'm not wrong because it's going to be really awkward. But regardless, Goku did not Hakai this freaking rock because there wouldn't be rubble and pebbles on Moro. It's like let's just get that out of the way as well.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong, but man, after this preview, I don't know what to think. Like, I don't know what the writers are guys. Oh yeah, let's just waste Goku randomly doing a Hakai on a rock. That's great writing, but this is
65 just seems like it's still like in rough draft mode. And I mean rough draft mode. Like this it can't. This had to have been the chapter preview when they were creating this arc back 2 years ago. This had to have been like what they thought was going to happen because this just doesn't gear up to be what you were setting up for. So I'm hoping that this is going to be some very late, middle of the year April Fool's joke because this is tough. This is tough to eat right now.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they just threw this out there so that people would talk about it as it's worked because every big Dragon Ball person on YouTube and Twitter and on the internet is talking about it. And then they swerve you with like, yeah, that was just the thing so you guys could talk about. Here's the real chapter because we're ending it. That'd be a great swerve. But if this really is it, when it comes to October 20th, there's not going to be a Dragon Ball fan who is not reading that manga as soon as it comes out.
Nope. I'm going to take an early break, early lunch on that Tuesday, and I'm going to read the chapter, and I am going to pray that this is not what I'm going to read. But But on the flip side, maybe they'll completely surprise me and everything will start to make sense. But I, I'll have to wait and see on that.
No. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that. And the chapter does come out next week, October 20th, and we guarantee me and Mitch will be back to review maybe the chapter of all chapters. We keep saying it each month that this chapter is bigger than the next, but this one has major implications on the character of Goku, Toratara's legacy as the writer, whatever the hell Toei and Toriyama are doing with this. Like this is big because I know a lot of other people who watch anime and they talk about Goku and they talk about how he has no character development. He's still the dumb, naive idiot who hasn't learned a thing throughout 20 plus years of Dragon Ball. And then, but if you've only watched Dragon Ball Z or watched Dragon Ball, or if you've watched GT, you know that's not true. But Dragon Ball Super is making it very hard to win that argument against other anime people that Goku's character development is not good. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. On a happier note, Dragon Ball Heroes came out with its latest episode about a week or two ago. And we really haven't touched that much on Dragon Ball Heroes on this channel. So we are going to touch a little bit about it today. And with Dragon Ball Heroes, with implementing a lot of ideas that Mitch himself has had that Dragon Ball Super should do, like the Demon Realm and things like that, and going to other universes. Mitch, what do you like about Dragon Ball Heroes? What do you don't like, and what would you want from Dragon Ball Heroes?
But what do I like about Dragon Ball Heroes? The main part is that it's really fan service. You're getting the matchups and the characters that you kind of talked with amongst your friends, and like all these what if scenarios, and you may never get them in the actual anime or manga, but you might get them in the video games, for example, or any of these fan mangas in which people will write. So I think that's what I think I like the most. There was nothing cooler than, the very first episode of Dragon Ball Heroes that we get, the Planet Prisoner arc. And you have Goku Blue versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku going at it. Now, they only went at it for 30 seconds to a minute. And these episodes are 8 minutes long, 8 minutes long, which that'll be where I dive into my next segment. But just seeing those matchups on television or whatever, medium you might be watching them, that's pretty cool. You get to see Cooler comes back and you see Cooler as a golden Cooler, then you get to see him as metal golden Cooler. They introduce a new Saiyan Cumber. He basically looks like an overweight Raditz, to be honest with you. He has a gas mask on, and he's really ridiculously overpowered. But oh well. But then you get to see, Vegeta. Vegeta comes back, Super Saiyan 4, or Super Saiyan Blue. That's cool. And then you get to see Vegito again in the same fight. This time it's Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, because you've never seen that in manga or anime or in GT. And so it's just a whole bunch of good fights and fan service. And it had some interesting plots with it, like when they had Hearts teaming up with, it was kind of like their Sinister Six for all the Spider-Man fans out there, because the beginning saga had Fu as their leader, trying to gather energy and data and all this stuff to take over the universe. But then you had they were working with Fu, but they were kind of their own little group of Hearts. You had Merge Zamasu come back. and then you had the twins that were like, the same race as Baby. You had that one character who was kind of like she used crystals to fight people, but we never really learned too much. And then Cumber. So you had just a whole big old group of villains. They were kind of cool, and nothing cooler than when Hearts absorbs what's called the universal seed, which is, I guess, how you start universes up, and then just completely just erases, I guess. I don't want to even say Hakai. I don't really know. Just completely gets rid of Merge Zamasu, and then you get to see Universe 6, Universe 11, Universe 7 working together, like the strong fighters in those other two universes, because the rest of Universe 6 is crap, and the rest of Universe 11, other than Topo and Jiren's crap. But you see them at Dispo. But you see all these universes fighting a common enemy, which we haven't seen them working together in the anime and manga there. So, and now we're in a new arc about the Universal Tree, and we don't truly understand what the Universal Tree is all about. But well, that's why we keep watching, so we can kind of learn this stuff. Yeah, that's a cool part. And well, before we dive into like what I hate about it, how about I give you a quick moment? Is there anything that you like about it, Martin, that I didn't touch upon?
Yeah, I like how it treats every Dragon Ball thing canon, but it's not canon. For example, spoilers if you haven't watched the first season, when they beat Hearts, Jiren asks Goku, Vegeta's like, if you guys could have fused to make Gogeta, why didn't you just do this in the tournament? So obviously, this is after the tournament of power, so it's canon to that, and they're just like the usual same answer. Well, that's not our own power. Blah blah blah. Beat you by yourself. So I always thought that was cool that it was canon and all that stuff. Obviously, with stuff with Trunks and Zamasu, and everyone knows if you watch Super, when Trunks sees Zamasu, it's on site because they hate each other. So Trunks saw Zamasu and got blinders. So that's the stuff that I really like, that it's canon and all that stuff, especially with I guess the GT or whatever you want, Xenoverse, Goku and Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 and Blue going and all this stuff. And then small things like Grand Prix training Goku for a little bit. And then he comes back in the Grand Prix clothes and he goes the Ultra Instinct Omen, which was a cool moment. So just things like that, and the universe hopping, seeing the different universes work together to fight it. It's almost kind of like, I would say, almost in like a Marvel Infinity War type thing, where you see different factions working together for the first time to fight a common enemy. And so look, I thought that was cool. Some of the fights were okay. When they gave them money, the Goku versus Hearts fight was very well
One
drawn.
of the best drawings
For
in all of Heroes. It is the best beginning, like that fight, like the
yeah,
beginning of it, was the best drawn. You just got to go watch it to believe it, because if that animation style is what they use just for a few minutes of Heroes, that's what they need to be doing in all of the anime in general, because it was phenomenal, and it almost didn't
mm-hmm.
fit with everything else they drew. You could tell just like another artist just took over.
Yeah. And then my last thing that I like is that we talked about this plenty of times, so I won't be too much on it. When MUI came out, it beat the hell out of whoever was fighting it. Game over, call it a day, and we leave. And I really like, if this is the strongest thing ever, Heroes treated it like the strongest thing ever. Once Goku went Mastered Ultra Instinct, you got your ass whooped.
You
End
know,
of story. What did you what do you not like about it right now? What can improve on?
three things, and they're not really like huge things. The last one might be a little bit more, but it's just the nature of what Heroes is, really. The first one is I wish the episodes weren't 8 minutes like in length, because
Yes.
when the intro itself takes like 1 to 2 minutes, and then the exit I don't know what you say for the end, not the intro, but the outro. Yep. That's another minute or two as they're advertising the games and the card games over in Japan. We're looking at like 4 to 5 minutes of an episode. And
Mhm.
I just wish the length was longer. But that's just what Heroes is. It is a promotional anime, and that's what it says in the bottom right corner for the game. Okay, gotcha. Wish they were longer. That's just my Christmas list. The second thing is I wish these could be dubbed. I would love to hear the English voice
Okay.
actors for these things. But again, it's just a promotional anime. You're going to hear me say that one more time on the third point. So that's just, I would just like to hear them in English. And then the last bit is that I wish the stories were more fleshed out because, I
Mhm.
mean, it is just fight after fight after fight after fight after fight. There is no build up as to like what's actually going on here. I can't really get invested with the criminals all too much. The villains, I mean, I can't I can't truly grasp the reason why the universal seed is so important whenever I find out it's to make a universe, then Hearts absorbs it, and then all they have to do then is Goku and Vegeta fuse into Gogeta, and then Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta can somehow defeat the villain that just absorbed the power of a universe. Like, I don't have any explanation
And
as
not,
to why this makes sense.
and not even just that, the villain who was taking on Jiren hit Trunk, Gohan, 17 at the same exact time while they were stalling for them to fuse.
Yeah. And this was the same villain that just moments prior to all of fighting all these people erased Zamasu with a magic square attack that just engulfed him and then just got rid of him. I really would like to see this gravity attack that Hearts uses on everyone more often in like an anime or canon or like the manga because it's sweet. He manipulates gravity around people, and even Jiren struggled to stand up to this attack. It's sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with all three of your points. There was just one more thing I wanted to say that I did like, and it was the end fight because we brought this up a lot on previous episodes. It wasn't just Goku and Vegeta versus the main bad guy at the end. Gohan, 17, Trunks, Piccolo, they were all there too, and Hidden Jiren. So giving other people screen time in the final fights is always a good
It
plus.
is nice because sometimes it just gets stale watching Goku and Vegeta just try to handle it all. I wouldn't mind seeing, you know, like maybe in another arc when if the universes all work together that maybe Vegeta and Goku set like Jiren up to be the victor, I I
Mm-hmm.
think if they played that right and implemented that, I think that'd be a perfectly acceptable ending. I I don't need Goku to win it all the time or Vegeta to win it all the time to be entertained. If they use their wits to set Jiren hits or another protagonist up for a victory, I'm all for it.
Right, but it's a good time. I mean, they'll just randomly drop an episode like, "Oh, Dragon Ball Heroes comes out today, Thursday at midnight," and you're just like, "What?" And they'll just do it randomly. So it's always good to have extra Dragon Ball content since the manga is only once a month, and only God knows when the anime is actually coming back, if it's ever gonna come back.
I'm just waiting for the anime. I think it will come back. I just want to know what are they going to change with the anime versus what they're doing in the manga. It's going to be interesting because I mentioned that even on our very first episode that we did that the whatever comes out first, the opposite will kind of adjust to it. So the anime comes out first, the manga will address some inconsistencies. If the manga comes out first, the anime will fix it. So now that the manga is way ahead of the anime, when they come back with the anime, will they address these things? Piccolo telling Gohan that Vegeta never doubts or underestimates his opponents,
Yeah.
or will they view that this was a huge mistake in the storyline and Goku giving Moro a senzu bean right after Miras just sacrificed himself for that? Right now, I can only picture that one meme that has that guy in it who is, I think he's at a basketball game and he has his hands on his hips and he's kind of just looking out at the court in disgust. Do you know the meme I'm talking about? I am just
Yeah,
thinking, like,
I
I
do.
can see that meme right now with the caption on it, Miras when he finds out that Goku gave Moro a senzu bean. just, just standing there staring.
Yeah. It's bad, man. Yeah, and with the anime, just like for people who watch football, how you were about the Tennessee Titans, that you'll believe it when you see it. That's how I am with the anime. I'll believe it when I see it. All those big YouTubers said it was coming back in like 2019, 2020, and 2020 is about to be over.
Yep, you're right. You are right with that.
I believe I'm seeing it. Mitch, anything else you want to hit on Dragon Ball before we
No, I
sign off
need
for
I need
today?
to go find some like Advil or Tylenol or something because this headache is just going to rock me all night until I see this chapter and what actually is in store for it. I hope we're being teased. I hope this is Dragon Ball AF. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, shoot, I wish it was AF because then Super Saiyan
Well,
5 would
Super
be
Saiyan 5 looks like MUI.
well, shoot. I mean, yeah,
I
shoot,
I
kind of.
I think the writers, I think whenever they were thinking of the concept of MUI, they looked over at Dragon Ball AF and they're like, "Hey, somebody already did this for us."
Funny. I've never thought of that, man. The white hair. Oh man, we're gonna have to talk about
I'm
AF
gonna have to
one
brush
day.
up on that. I haven't
Was a
looked at
great.
AF ever since whenever the part in which I read that Goku cheated on Chi Chi with some alien chick, and I'm just like, what?
For another time, another time. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast, Dragon Ball's edition. Thank you, Mitch, for coming on and previewing what might be the worst chapter in Dragon Ball history coming up on October 20th. As I said, we are definitely going to be back. Maybe the 21st, 22nd, maybe around there. As soon as this chapter drops on the 20th, we're going to be reviewing it in full detail. And we're going to preview 66 on our next episode as well and see if they were pulling a joke on us or if this is really how it's going to go down. Mitch, last
None
words?
for me. Have a great evening or afternoon, whatever time in which you are listening to this, from whatever corner of the world in which you are in. Thank you for taking the time to give this little, as Martin says, mom and pop podcast a chance to entertain you and tune into all the other interesting topics in which we have going on around the podcast with other insiders that contribute to it. Comment in the section below if you're on YouTube, and if you have a topic in which you would like to discuss with us, feel free to ask that question. If you want to give us your opinion on something, again, comment down in the section there, and we'll be more than happy then to address it and give us our thoughts on it, and maybe we can go back and forth in the comment section regarding it. So that's it for me. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you listening.
Absolutely. And to that fan, don't worry, we have not forgotten about you. We will get our top 10 character list out soon in an upcoming podcast. We've not forgotten about
Nope. We
you.
just had to focus on this ridiculous episode, so maybe that's how we'll end our review of 65.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you for the support you've been showing us. It's been amazing. We hope you have a wonderful day and take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.